What a story! Dharamraj has beautifully captured his journey of starting the programming club and his successful attempt at fostering creativity and entrepreneurship by providing quality yet affordable education to millions of students and underprivileged kids in India. For our next session, I'd now like to invite Nikhil back for a special chat with the CEO of MyGov.in, Mr. Abhishek Singh, to discuss the current state of India's internet industry and understand what kind of skilling programs and initiatives are required to further the growing digital success of Indian businesses. Take it away, Nikhil.
I'm truly honored to share the stage with Mr. Abhishek Singh, CEO of MyGov today. He's also the president and CEO for the National eGovernance Division and MD and CEO of the Digital India Corporation. Abhishek Singh is an officer of the 1995 batch of the IAS with diverse experience of administration, managing law and order, implementing development programs, and of policy formulation at the central government, particularly leading the way of using technology for improving governance. Hello and welcome to Expand 2021, Abhishek. Thank you for being here. So, Abhishek Singh ji, let's talk about COVID and the impact on Indian businesses, especially small businesses. As you know, small businesses have really been at the forefront of taking a lot of brunt of what's happened in the last 2 years. They are facing a lot of challenges, maintaining their cash flows, maintaining their businesses, trying to get customers, just keeping the lights on. It'll be great if you share, the policies and the programs the government has initiated in helping small businesses in these tough times.
See, as you rightly said, the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted almost everyone, but the small businesses, the MSME sector, as we call it, was greatly impacted, especially with regard to the drop in businesses, the lockdowns, the closures, the restrictions, and resulting drop in production, drop in value addition, the service sector, all these sectors were greatly impacted. So government did take a lot of steps in order to address the hardships being paid by the MSME sectors, whether it was with regard to moratorium, with regard to in loan prepayments, with regard to extension of benefits, credit support. In every field, the government came up and gave the package under the Atmanirbhar package. The finance minister announced several measures last year, which included extending support for them to continue their businesses, which included support for deferred provident fund payments, which included support for no penalties on submission of tax returns. So these measures, which were economic as well as administrative, went a long way in giving support to the MSME sector. Over and above, the government also decided that government procurements will give a priority to the MSME sector, so that whatever businesses can be insured for them, that is made available to them. So it has been a difficult year. It has been a tough year, but given the fact that MSME sector is one of the most vibrant and one of the most employment-friendly sectors in the economy, government has taken several measures. And in the last few quarters, what we are seeing is that this sector is bouncing back, and hopefully that will lead to a robust double-digit growth in our economy in the year to come.
Thank you for sharing that. The space of digitization has increased so much in the last 1.5 years, right? They talk about what took 10 years has happened in 10 months. The government's been very active in, promoting digitization, both for small businesses, for entrepreneurs, and even in the rural parts of the country. If you could share perspective on how all that has come about, what's happening there, and as we look forward, what could we kind of visualize on this space of acceleration of digitization and perhaps the impact on the small businesses and the rural part of the country?
See, digitization has been one of the priority areas for the government for a long time. In fact, we have been taking up projects in the Digital India for setting up. We are the world's largest biometric identity system in the form of Aadhaar, with 1.43 billion mobile numbers, 1.3 billion identity UID numbers given. Then we have a large mobile database, which has ensured that the mobile coverage is not only ubiquitous, but people are able to access internet at data rates which are the cheapest across the world. Then the projects like UPI, which ensured financial inclusion and extended banking and financial services to every Indian, that has been laid the basic foundations for enabling digital services. When the pandemic came, the reliance on digital services went up all the more. So whether it was education, in which online learning became the default, so the investments we have made for enabling online education in the form of the Diksha platform or the Swayam platform, through which online lectures are delivered, came was a savior during this period. So even schools in the rural areas were able to access content on the Diksha, which is the Ministry of Education's education portal, and they were able to continue their education. Healthcare, again, when people are not able to visit hospitals and can go to doctors, then telemedicine solutions came as a boon. So the eSanjeevani portal, which was developed by Ministry of IT for Ministry of Health, was scaled up, and today the eSanjeevani portal has done more than 10 million consultations in the last few months. Then when you look at the remote working, the work from home, the use of e-office, use of video conferencing, so all these tools became a necessary tool to have in order to ensure business continuity, in order to ensure that everything continues. The e-commerce has been enabled when people are not able to step out, how to access services. And all this has been driven primarily because of the digital backbone that we have, primarily because of the broadband and the fiber connectivity, which has been ensured, especially the urban areas. Now, as we go ahead and as we ensure that more and more online services are delivered, the challenges that we face are to ensure the connectivity that is available in urban areas is also made available in the rural areas. So for that, the government has launched the BharatNet project, which seeks to connect every village, the 600,000 villages in India, with high-speed fiber connectivity. Of this, around 150,000 villages have already been connected. In the next 2 years, one expects that the remaining villages will also be connected with high-speed internet. And when that happens, this fiber will not only go to the village, but it will also connect the school, the Anganwadi center, the sub center or the primary health center, the Panchayat Bhavan with internet, and will also provide fiber-based connectivity to households. That would enable e-education, that will enable smart classrooms, remote healthcare. All these services will be possible with the fiber going to the villages. The other challenge that we face, especially with digitalization, is digital inclusion. How do we ensure that when we are going online for everything, whether it's digital payments or education or healthcare, then those people who do not have access to a device or do not have the ability to access online services on a device, how do we cater to them? So that requires investments in manufacturing of mobile devices, the tablets, the computers, and ensure that it's made available at a low cost to every Indian, and he is provided basic skill sets in ensuring he is able to access e-services. So there is a program called PMG Disha, the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Literacy Program, which ensures that every citizen in the program, in the first phase, 60 million people are being empowered, they are being given digital literacies, and they are given the necessary skill set to access e-services. Then for inclusion, another big project which the government of India has implemented is the common service centers. We have a network of 375,000 kiosks or telecenters or common service centers across the country, the length and breadth of the country, which offer online services in an assisted mode to people who are wanting to access that. Then the expansion of services or apps like Umang, which has got today more than 20,000 services, the expansion of DigiLocker in enabling National Academic Depository or National Academic Bank of Credits has ensured that more and more online services are made available to people in an easy to access form, in an affordable form, and which ensures that the objective of using technology power to empower citizens is fulfilled.
Great, thank you for sharing those different programs and policies, and really the success of some of these initiatives, reaching really to the heartland of the country, which is very inspiring. Moving on to small businesses and coming back again to the issue of digitization. Now, a lot of small businesses today, many of them start from social media. But very soon, I think they realize that it has to coexist with websites, because websites really is your own kind of controlled platform where it represents identity, it represents your brand and who you are. And in that sense, the web pros, which is the community, the web designers, right, the people who really help small businesses, come online and grow online, because anytime a small business wants to come online, a lot of time they go to these, web professionals for asking them, what kind of domain should I buy? What kind of website should I build? What kind of e-commerce store, should I set up? Share your thoughts on the role of web pros and web designers in the country, because not only they are enabling small business to come online, but they are also a big part of skilling, right, which is a big initiative of the government as well. Would love to get your perspective and thoughts on this.
See, as you rightly said, getting connected, getting online, having a web presence has become like the mandatory requirement for any business, a small business or a big business. And in fact, what it does is that it helps expand the market base. Like if any small business is wanting to generate value, then in order to reach out to people beyond its immediate neighborhood, the presence on a web, having a web portal or having a site on which people can access can really expand that outreach. So, for example, if there is a designer, if there's a fashion designer who is doing some designing in his neighborhood, he or she can create a clientele or create a customer base in the place where he lives. But if he goes online, if he develops, say, a website or a web portal or an app or expands his presence through social media, then he is able to expand its outreach and access markets which were hitherto not known. And that would lead to more volumes, more business, more profits, more income, more employability. So everybody will gain. And that's how the economy grows. So websites have been like a traditional mode of expansion of business, sharing of information, and getting more customers for a very long time. Today, that trend is, of course, expanding into the social media space, wherein you having a Facebook page or Instagram page or a presence on any of the short video platforms also helps us in getting noticed, in trying to get more customers and go get more markets. So that's the way things are expanding, and I'm sure this will lead to, of course, this requirement of a lot of web designers, and that helps people to get onboarded. And with various tools today to create a website or to go online, it has been very simple. It can be done in a few hours, and you don't need to have high-tech IT infra or technical people on your roles to manage that. All these things are available on a software as a service model, and you just need to decide what you want to put. And then there will be people who will be helping you to get storage, you get infra, you can host it on any of the infra services which are available. There are tools with which a website is easily designed. And today we have school kids and college kids who are able to do that in a few hours only. It's become very simple, it's become very easy, and more importantly, it's become a must to have if you have plans to expanding your business and growing in the sector in which you are in.
Thank you, Abhishek ji, for sharing your thoughts. So, on behalf of GoDaddy, I wanted to thank you for taking the time and sharing both insights into how the digitization and the pace of digitization, the speed and velocity at which that's happening, in the country is very inspiring. So, thank you for that, and also, your thoughts and ideas around, what can enable small businesses and rural entrepreneurs to really use technology into the benefits, and especially a lot of programs which have been in place, and we start seeing the results of them now. So thank you, Abhishek ji, on behalf of GoDaddy. We thank you for taking the time and speaking to us, and we look forward to many more interactions with you.
Thank you, Nikhil. It was a pleasure.